All right, here we go.
Beautiful people, welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Ask yourself this: how often is something great free? Well, guess what? Subscribing to my pod, follow me on the socials. I'm Nathanael Reyes. They're both free, so you can do so. Something great is free. Per usual, love to the partners: Jocko Fuel, clean fuel without compromise. Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare. Be bold, be you. Use promo code Reyes Reflection and ARave cards, completing sets one card at a time. Check out their eBay and Facebook page to get yourself going on your Pokemon card collection. Now, on to the introduction of my guest. He's one of the only few guests that may have a better smile than me, but I think I can sing better. Not completely joking. I can't even get that out. I am not a singer whatsoever. He was a contestant of season 24 of The Voice, the leader of the band Stee and Ear Candy. Without further ado, Stee, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me. Woo, 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 woo.
Whoa, what? Let's get it.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely, lovely day. How did the name Stee and Ear Candy come about? I want to know about this.
Man, okay, so Stee is actually my father's name.
Okay.
It was a nickname that everybody gave my dad, and they would always call me Lil Stee.
Lil Stee.
So when that happened, I was thinking to myself, when the time came to be a singer or whatever, I thought that my real name was just it just sounded too formal, and it wasn't cool. But Stee, is urban for style.
Oh, okay.
When people, back in the 90s, I like your Stilo. I like your Stilo. So I was like, we'll do Stee. And it stuck. And the Ear Candy band, I hated the name. I hated the name when we first came up with it. I was like, it just sounds so corny. It did sound corny to me at the time. But the crazy thing is I couldn't think of anything better. And now it's got a nice little ring to it, and even when I said it on the show, it has some little sauce to it. I like it.
And that's who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you brought up your dad. You and your folks, they're musically inclined. Your whole family is. They're very well-versed in music, but you didn't always want to be a musician. Is that correct?
No, that is correct. I wanted to do anything but.
And you wanted to be an engineer.
Yeah. I was obsessed with like mechanics and building and everything. I mean, I had an obsession with trains from the time I was 3. I mean, I wanted to work on trains. That was like my main thing. And I was always interested in architecture. Like I used to see where we lived, there were these apartment buildings, and across the street there were condos. And I was like, well, what was the architect's idea? Or, when they did the blueprints, what makes one what they are? And I was just so fascinated by it. And I said, this is what I want to do. Yeah, for sure.
And then you realized you weren't math. Wasn't your subject.
No,
no,
not even close. I even went as far as I think I took probability and statistics in 11th grade. It was like one of the highest math classes that they offered at the time. I failed it. I failed it by 2 points. But I think the probability and stat had something to do with putting rockets in daggone space. I was like, I just want to do anything but music. Get me out of here. So yeah, here I am.
So with that, I have some jokes for you pertaining to math. Are you ready?
Whoo! Yeah, let's hear it.
I'll start you with an easy one. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
I don't know.
You've never heard? Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh my gosh! No, I've never heard this. What are these dad jokes?
Pretty much. I mean, do you know the last 2 digits of pi?
No.
No, nobody does. It's endless.
No.
All right. The last pun I have is that about sums it up. All right. Well, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I like it. Well done. Well, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
Yes. I was terrible at math too, dude. I struggled with everything. I remember I took algebra in like 7th and 8th grade, and I was so bad at it, I had to retake it in high school because I just struggled with math. I don't know what it is. It was always just, I don't know, the probability of something, or even just like the process of trying to solve it. It just wasn't my thing, because I too wanted to, I was into computer-aided drafting and designing. So like CAD, I wanted to like do structural stuff and software, or not software, SolidWorks. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
But it just,
Didn't pan out.
Nope, Matt. So instead, I talk for fun and make money doing it.
Look where it brought us, bro. I mean, it's a win.
That's right. Ultimately, we've somehow still circled back to what we were called to do.
In the first place. No, you try to run from it, it's going to catch you anyway.
That's right, because you said your dad said that you wouldn't talk, you would always sing. And for me, my mom would always say that I would just talk everyone's ear off. I always got bad grades for talking too much in class. You know, when it says talks too much with his friends, that's
that's you.
Yeah, that was me.
That's why you used that analogy in the beginning. See, that was all about you. I was a mute. I didn't talk to anyone.
So I didn't talk the first like 7-8 years until my mom thought I had some problems. She tested me with other things because I would always be to myself, be playing with the sandbox, and even when people would come near me, I would get my stuff up, walk away, and leave. So my mom thought that I had some sort of social awkwardness, and it wasn't until I guess found my rhythm of who I was, because I was a pretty awkward kid. We talked about this off camera. Puberty was not kind to me. I was called pizza face. I had zits everywhere. I was a little on the chubby side, and so it was one of those things where people just didn't really like. They kind of thought I was weird. I didn't know how to talk to a girl. I was really awkward, and then I grew up a little bit. And I guess that's how life goes, right?
That's how it goes. I mean, but I think it teaches you how to maneuver it. The great thing, and I always said, the great thing about not being liked in high school was I never hung on to being popular or liked or any of those things. So I didn't need that to be successful. It actually gave me self-esteem, because then at the end of the day, as long as I was I liked what I was doing, or I liked my style, or I liked how I sounded, I didn't need anybody to tell me I was great. And I've actually come to find out that some of the people that I knew back then that were popular, they really have a hard time with getting themselves up, and because they were just so well liked. And I mean, you're talking about prom kings and queens here. That wasn't never going to be me. No. I wasn't even on the ballot for funniest, and I am funny.
Yes, you are.
I'm funny.
I am too. I stand by that. I say I am a funny person, and if not, I laugh at myself, which means I'm hilarious. So I'll take.
Yes, exactly. And then my laugh is so good that people laugh because I laugh. So that's what helps.
Dude, I've found myself. I've laughed like 3 or 4 times just because you have laughed. So I agree with you. Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a trick.
It's contagious. It's contagious.
It's contagious.
Laughter is the best medicine. I completely agree with you on that, because I find that a lot of people who almost seek that being valid or the validity of, hey, you need to accept me of who I am. I'm a good person, or I'm popular. I'm Mr. and Miss Popular, prom king, prom queen, etc., etc. I've noticed that nothing to them. It's almost like that's their peak. Whereas people like you and I who didn't really need that validation. And it was only up for me. I don't know about you. It was only
right. No, for me too. That's what I was going to say. It can't get any worse than this. So here we go. That's where I was. And you're absolutely right. Yep. You don't need any validation. It's just kind of and it goes back to even going on the show. It all ties in together. And I didn't really second guess myself on any of the decisions I made. I was very sure about what it is that I was trying to do there. And that's, I just got up there and I was myself. And the worst embarrassing moments had happened to me in high school. So I was just I can get up in front of the world and do whatever now. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Let me tell you a story. So I had a crush on this girl for 3 years, dude. And on Valentine's Day, you know how you go to the CVS or the Rite Aid, whatever, and you get the Valentine's Day cards? You know how they give you the one big one that's supposed to be for your teacher?
Yes, I do. Dang, it's been a long time.
It has been. They don't do that anymore. They really don't.
They don't.
These poor kids nowadays are not growing up with good stuff. But let me tell you that. I used the big one and another one to give to this girl. And it was my way of trying to tell her that I liked her, right? That I had a crush on her. So I let her know. And do you know what she told me? I don't like you because your nose is too fat. Crushed. It was only up from there. It was only up from there.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
pretty
bad.
bad. That was. I will say this: my ego was a little shot that day. It was
A
crushed.
little? Oh, that's bad. I can't say that that's ever happened to me, and I'm happy. Maybe because I didn't put myself out there like that.
I tried. I shot my shot and missed.
You did the right thing, though. You did the right thing.
I learned from that. Yeah. Don't shoot your shot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you should definitely. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
And if that's what happened, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because it that was it. Now that that's out the way, you can shoot your shot every time because it can't get any worse than that.
That's right. And now it's a funny story to share on podcasts. So.
Yeah, for everyone.
Exactly. For the world to laugh at my middle school and high school trauma.
At your expense.
That's right. Hey, you can't take yourself too seriously. You have to laugh at yourself every now and then. That's life.
Absolutely.
Let's transition a little bit. So you grew up in Washington, D.C. Now you're living in South Carolina. We talked about it. You wanted to be an engineer. Mom and dad were into music. Talk to me about how you got to The Voice. How was your upbringing? What did you do? What did you like to do? What sports did you like to do? Hobbies, things like that. How did you get to that point in your career?
I'll make it fast. I'll make it real fast because it can get long. Hobbies as a kid, I was heavy into martial arts and I was an extremely fast runner. So I wanted to, actually my dream was to go to school, go to college on a track and field scholarship for engineering. That was like my dream. And hopefully run for the Olympics one day, which never happened. None of that happened. As far as being in DC, so I actually moved to South Carolina when I was 7 years old. But because it was such a culture shock when I got to South Carolina, I mean, you're talking about living in Washington, D.C., where everything is very, very fast-paced, and coming to South Carolina at the time where everything was like at a stop. So we would always go back home every Christmas break, summer break. We would stay the entire summer there, spring breaks, entire spring break there with all of our friends. I mean, I don't think I had solid friendships in South Carolina until I was 16 years old. Like, because I just had so many friends from back home that I held on to. So in all that time with going back and forth, I started to sing. And I started to sing because my sister was a singer. She still is a singer. She would always use me for background harmonies, and I was starting to get a love for it. But one of the reasons I never wanted to be a singer is because my parents were really, really, really good and very revered. And I never wanted to be compared to them. Yeah. I felt like it was too close to home.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was one day I'm coming back home from school, and I used to watch 106 in Park every day. It was the BET, it was like TRL. It was a countdown of music videos. You vote, and your favorite video shows up on TV. There was a new joint, and there was a kid named Mario. Mario had a song called Just a Friend. Mario was from Baltimore, which is about 45 minutes away from where I'm from. And then I was thinking to myself, who the heck makes it out of Baltimore? If you know how bad Baltimore is, especially back in like when we grew up, it was horrible. So I was like, who made it out of Baltimore with a record deal in his own 106 in Park right now? So not only that, Mario was exceptionally good as a 15-year-old kid. I was 13, he was 15. And I said, now that I could see myself for the first time. And literally when I saw Mario and I saw myself in Mario, by the next year I was opening up for major artists. It was that fast.
Wow.
I got out there and I started asking my dad about people that he knew that had studios, and I started working on some songs with friends, and we came up with a couple songs. One of my really good friends, his name's Malcolm Horn. He has a shout out to Music Man 1017 on Twitch. He has a Twitch, but he produced a song for me. And that was the song I auditioned to open up for Lloyd on his Southside tour. Lloyd is an R&B singer from the early to mid 2000s. I opened up for him, and then it just snowballed from that point. Then I realized I didn't want to get a record deal because I didn't want to be locked down, and we started Stee and the Ear Candy Band. We did that for 9 years, and someone saw some videos on Instagram of me and asked me to do the voice. I said no, then I said yes, and then I ended up on the show. That's literally... I told you I'd make it fast.
So when you say Mario, do you mean like
Let Me Love You? Yeah. Let Me Love You, Mario.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so he really inspired you. I remember him.
Well, he didn't so much inspire me to want to be a singer. I think that I always liked to sing, but he let me know that it was a possibility for me, because you have to understand, Chris Brown says, he saw Michael Jackson, he wanted to be like Michael Jackson. I see Michael Jackson, Prince, my parents, Janet Jackson, Sade. I just see them as like tyrants that I can't scale. I just couldn't scale that. I see Michael Jackson, I'm like, yeah, man, he's amazing. I'm never going to be that, but when you see somebody who's like, you can see yourself, because Mario just reminded me of me, like even down to the way he wore his clothes in his videos. Yep. And I was like, well, damn, I didn't know that that's me as an artist. Like, I didn't see that. Yep. And when I saw that, that's when I was like, okay, now I'm inspired. So I mean, his first whole album, and Let Me Love You is not on his first album, by the way. I just want to shout that out. But his entire first album, I could like recite it to you. I studied it that hard.
No, I agree with that when it's close to home, because you said you grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, and like you said, Baltimore's right near there, the DMV. It's all in that one area.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the fact that you see something so close to home, you're like, wow, I could do that, as opposed to these almost bigger than life figures, like you said, Michael Jackson, who's one of the greatest. It's like I can never move like that. Nope, not
right.
Me.
But the crazy thing is, you're seeing them at their peaks, but you don't even realize. And I think that this is where Chris Brown, for me, is probably he can see the forest for the trees. He saw Michael Jackson. He said, I know it's going to take me a long time to get there, but I can get there. I just see Michael Jackson. I'm just like, there's no way. But you have to understand, there was a point between little Michael Jackson and then Thriller Michael Jackson, Bad Michael Jackson, Dangerous Michael Jackson. There and I did all the things that Michael did. I performed with my siblings. We did bands. We performed to tables and chairs for no money. We performed for free. We did all the stuff that Michael and his brothers did to get where they ended up going. And it paid off for them. And I mean, I feel like it's paying off for me on my scale and on my level. Everybody's paths are different. But yeah, it wasn't as unattainable as it seemed. It's just, it intimidated me.
Yep.
And good shout out to Chris. He's not intimidated by a thing. Yep. He's not intimidated by a thing.
You also referenced Lloyd. I remember him. I listened to a lot of his songs growing up. That was like my middle school soft R&B era. So I understand. Yeah. Shout out Lloyd. That was.
Yeah. And I was 15 and Lloyd was 18.
And
we were babies.
And you like were background for him and stuff?
I opened for him.
Oh, you opened?
I opened for him. He was doing a promo tour. So if anybody knows, a promo tour is like a little tour to introduce you and to get you out there to perform in small cities. And I did his opening act for him. And we were like babies. We were babies. Yeah. And then, of course, it's always their first albums where I'm connected. And then they blow up the second one. And I'm like, I'm out, because then he ends up doing the Get It Shawty, the Get It Shawty record and the You record with, Lil Wayne, and all the records with Drake and Nicki. And I'm just like, I'm still here.
Yeah, like little old me. Yeah.
Little old me. I'm still here if you need an opening act.
Yeah, that's right. You'll get there. You'll headline one day, my friend. You will.
I know. I can't wait.
So we're going to dive into The Voice now.
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand with the story that you shared on stage after your blind audition, which we'll talk about your cousin Matthew, who was supposed to join you on this journey, but unfortunately you weren't able to share the moment due to his passing. Could you share what that moment was like to even perform and be able to share that story of Matthew on his behalf?
It was bittersweet. It wasn't amazing at all. I was at that point, it still felt unfair because all the time that I'm telling you and all those shows and realizing who I was as an artist, Matthew was always there to help with that. Like, because, and so funny because when he passed, I didn't know that so many of his own like friends and family, didn't know that he sang. And I'm like, how did you not know that he sang? He sang all the time. And John Legend was his everything. He knew John Legend's catalog way better than I did. I mean, the guy studied John. And what flattered me so much was that he did tell me that. He said, yo, you are my cousin and everything. He said, but you're my second favorite. Like, you're my second favorite. And I was like, for real? Because usually doing something like this, you have friends and family, and they're kind of like, oh, yeah, he does that little music thing. And even if you've done things that are impressive, it's just you, to them. But for whatever reason, man, he recited my artistry back to me, talking about my first EP, the second one, and how I evolved. And like, to hear it back is crazy because he was right. I mean, I remember the changes and the nuances and me trying to be experimental with my sound. And he was there, he was just so in it with me. So to get up on the stage, it felt sweet because I could finally tell John about this person who was his biggest fan. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. People can say you're the biggest John Legend fan. I can't imagine you being a bigger John Legend fan than Matthew Weaver. That he knew everything about John, like the B-sides on singles and like some of the songs that got cut from John Legend's first album and stuff. I'm like, how do you even know that? And the bitter part was because I always wanted to introduce them. We went to go see John in 2021 in Phoenix, Arizona. And I remember thinking to myself at that time, I said, dang it, if I had made it already, I could just take him backstage and introduce him right now. Yeah. Because I know John and because I am me and I have records and we've worked together. And, so yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It sucked. Yeah. It sucked and it was cool, but it sucked. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the candor with that answer because I think a lot of times people will sit there and they'll say optically, hey, I got to say it on TV. I got to share my story on TV. But you're right. There is some pain behind that. It's not just this, yes, I got to share this for engagement clicks. No, this hurt. There is legitimate pain.
Yeah.
But there's also some frustration because you just said it. Oh, had I been able to make it or had I been able to do this, he would have already been able to have met John Legend and known him and things like that. So yeah. I appreciate the honesty with that response because I think sometimes some people would just sit there and go, yeah, it was cool. I got to share a story on TV or I got to, and it's, yes, like you said, it is cool, but there is a side of hurt and there is a side of pain and there is a side of, there's no light without darkness, unfortunately. That's the way that the universe is. And so I appreciate that you were just very open and honest with that response and even saying like, no, it sucked. It wasn't as, yes, it was amazing, but it also sucked at the same time. It really was hard. Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, it did. And I'm actually going to be even more candid, and I'll throw this out there. The fact that I didn't make it fast enough was thrown in my face after he passed because I was actually trying to do more with Matthew on the show. And that's why nobody really even got a chance to see him because I was dealing with someone that is also related. And when I was on the show, it was thrown in my face that, he's not here and you didn't make it fast enough. And that really hurt my feelings because it wasn't like I didn't try. This was the seventh time I tried out for The Voice. I've been working since I was 14 at this music thing, and nobody ever really believed in me enough to sign me or present me with a deal that made some sense. So it wasn't like I wasn't. We did a huge showcase in Atlanta when I was 21, and I brought him to the showcase. It was massive, and I had pictures of us together then. I brought him everywhere, so it really, really hurt to have somebody do that. And that was in the middle of the competition. I was in the middle of the competition, and it was just the worst time of my time on The Voice was that whole debacle with Matthew and the tension and all that. And it really sucks because I saw some people online in the comments, they were saying something like, oh, he's lying. Matthew's a generic name. And, I'm the type of person I don't respond, on the internet. But yeah, that really irritated me as well because it's just kind of like, well, I'm over here hurting and dealing with something real. And when people are sending their condolences to me online, you got this troll under them saying, it's just to pull the heartstrings on the show. And I'm like, no, it's not, dog. Like, what are you talking about? You think I really want to play like somebody died? But I digress. It comes along with getting on a show like this. So anybody watching, if you get on The Voice, understand that's what comes with it.
There will be trolls. There will be people who unnecessarily feel like their opinions matter more so. And it's interesting. I'm not saying that you have to like every single, even myself, right? I'll relate to you. I put some stuff out there and people have said some stuff like, you're not funny, you're not this, and they'll try to go at you in ways. And to me, I'm not sitting here and asking you to like every single thing I say or every single episode. If you have constructive criticism, by all means, let me know. Hey, Nathanael, this joke didn't land, or you saying this, it didn't work. By all means. But if you want to sit there and be harsh about somebody's past or their vulnerabilities or something that they're hurting with, to me, I think I think it's low. And I think, unfortunately, those phones, they give people a false sense of security in a way of, I can say it because I'm hidden behind this phone. And to me, it's just, I'm with you, bro. I don't answer people. If somebody says something, I'm like, you're not worth my time. Now, if they say you did great, I'll go ahead and compliment. Or if they say,
absolutely,
I have had people say, hey, I heard your last episode wasn't as good as this other one I heard, but I still liked it.
Right.
I ask them, hey, what can I do better? I'm fine with that. But if you want to just be a troll, they're trolls. If you want to be a troll, you belong in your and most of the time it's Bob in the basement, if you know what I mean.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But starve your haters and feed your motivators. That's what I say.
Ooh, I like
I have nothing to say on behalf of any of that. And moving on. That's what I always say. And there'll be that comment that was negative right under the one that was supportive, and I'll just at the person right on top and say, hey, thank you so much, and skip all the other stuff.
Yep. It's unfortunately the era we live in, but it sounds like you have your head screwed on right and how you're progressing towards it. Yeah.
Today. It's on today. It's on today.
That's right. Tomorrow, it might be. I
can't make no promises, bro.
Hey, tomorrow is not promised, so we just go. Not. Today is a win. We'll take it.
It's a win.
That's
yes,
right.
We're feeling good today.
That's right. I love it. At the Blinds, you sang Maroon 5. Great song. You sang Sugar. You were incredible, dude. Why did you choose that song?
Okay, so I knew that it was a great song to showcase every part of my voice. So with the high parts, I just remember the high falsetto is almost like a party trick sometimes. You'll come up on that hook and everybody's like, can he do it? And so I did it. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best version of that performance I've ever done because I ended up getting sick the day before. So I had a head cold and a chest cold. So I had no nose. And if you know anything about singing, you need all of this to work together. And I was totally afraid that I wasn't going to get a chair turn. I sang this song a million times. And I mean, you can't even get your breath because you have so much mucus and stuff going on in here. So we did everything we could. Me and a couple of the contestants went to Target and tried to get me, to dope up as much stuff as I could, the NyQuils and the DayQuils. And at the last minute, like a movie, it just came out. It was so great. I was like, thank God. Because this is the 7th time I'm trying out. You want to get sick now?
You're like, I never thought I would be so happy to see a bunch of mucus come out of my diet.
Come out! So please. Yeah, it was an awesome experience, man. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. Incredible.
I wouldn't have believed it. Watching you on TV, the way that you were moving and stuff, I would not. Your stage presence is just incredible. It really is. It really is, dude. You are a performer, and
Thank you, sir.
And it shows. It shows. Which I can't wait to see more that you do in the future. Yeah. Niall even blocked John, which is a really cool thing. You chose John. I think a big reason of it was because of your cousin Matthew, of course.
Yeah, it was, but I respected him too.
Yes.
You
respected that the coaching relationship that you were going to receive as well.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge. Are you kidding me? Just listen to his catalog, I mean, my goodness. Just I always said, and I say it to this day. I want John Legend to write me a song. Like I don't. It doesn't have. It can be whatever he wants. You know my voice very well at this point. I would love for you to write me a song, and I've always wanted him to write me a song. I think his songs are so awesome to sing. They show off great dynamics in your voice. I actually wanted to do a John Legend song, but the one I wanted to do wasn't cleared. It wasn't cleared. It wasn't on the list. So I just let that go. And we went in a totally different direction. Totally different direction. But yeah, man, I mean, but what a lot of people don't know is it was neck and neck with Niall. I was going to choose Niall.
If he didn't get blocked, right?
If he didn't get blocked, it was going to be hard. Like I probably would have. It was fast because I didn't have a choice. Yeah. But if there was a choice, it probably would have been a long. What do I do? What do I do? Yeah. What do I do? Yeah, because I wanted to work with Niall. Yeah. You know, I really, really wanted to work with Niall. He's been through this kind of thing before. Yep. He knows what it's like to have major success on top. Not to say that I'm going for that, because I don't know if that's what I want. I like going to Walmart and going to the movies. And, you know, at this point in my life, it's only like two people that I'd be like, you're Stee, right? You know, and when you're One Direction big, it's like, you go to the movies and it's an event. You know, I don't know if that's what I want, but he definitely knows how to navigate competition like this. And this was the second thing I thought was cool about Niall. His song choices would have been contrast to what I am as an artist, which would have been really, really cool. He probably would have given me something really cool to sing that was a singer-songwriter song, like a Neil Diamond song or something like that. Right. And I really could be different on the show, you know? But I didn't even get a chance to do like what I would naturally do either. So it didn't work out either way as far as that's concerned, but I did make it pretty far.
No, you did great, which we'll keep progressing through on that.
Yeah.
Because Niall got blocked, like I said, but then you chose John. You talked about your love experience, and which is why you were able to pick certain songs of why you loved because you had to let somebody go. You talked about all that, and then that was in the next round when you faced Lila and DJ, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was after the battle with Willie.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay, that's right. You battled Willie. Oh my goodness, I completely. And you guys did a great song because you did a John Legend song with Willie as well.
With Willie, yeah.
Yeah. See, that was amazing. You guys did such a great performance. One of the reasons why I like that performance particularly is it really was almost like a duet. It really was like it was two people doing the same song. Like I could have heard you two do a cover to that song.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We worked out behind off on that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked and worked and worked and worked. What it was so cool about Willie was every time I would like call his room, I'd be like, hey, what you doing? And he's like, nothing. And I'd be like, so you want to go and get one of those practice rooms and run it again? He was like, yeah. He was always like, yeah. It was never like, no, I don't feel like it. He was like, let's go. I love that, you know? And that's why that performance was like what it was, because then it was so tight and because we worked it and worked it and worked it. He didn't never say no to rehearsing, and I was always wanting to rehearse. You know, I knew that it was going to be, you know, a really, really cool battle. And I told him, I said, I want to be one of the best battles this show's ever seen. That's what I told him. I said, we got to be like one of the best battles this show's ever seen. I don't know if we did it, but we did very well.
No, you even said it. You said it was tight, and it was. Even so much as like the movements around, like everything was just, as I said, if you two ever in the future decided to do a YouTube clip on that song, or YouTube video or re-rendition, it would be really good. It would be really special. So I thought you two did.
I've been trying to get him to do stuff, but you know, he's in the studio right now. He was just in Miami, and I told him to come up to South Carolina. He was like, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. I just want to get him in the studio so we can lay something down, and then I'll go out to LA and we would do something. But his schedule's just too crazy right now. So yeah. I told him I still want to do a record though. I want to do something.
Yeah.
Because everybody loved it.
Yeah, we did. Hopefully in the future. So so then you battled Lila and DJ, and that's when you said you picked a song based on your past experiences of love, and you realized you had to let her go.
Right.
And then you got stolen right after that. Gwen, that's when Gwen stole you.
Yep.
I thought the three of you could have made it through. I thought if each and every one of you, either one was saved, one was picked, and the other one was stolen, or whichever variation, I really thought that all three of you could have won.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Are you kidding me? You know, DJ, I told DJ when I met him week 1 of Blinds, and I heard him singing. I heard somebody singing This Woman's Work. And they, you know, and at that point it's 96 of us in a hotel. So it's like what is it? A performing arts school. Everybody's singing everywhere. Yeah. So I heard this guy singing This Woman's Work, and I opened up the stairwell and this DJ. And the first thing I said was, I said to him, I said, I hope I don't have to battle you. I don't want to battle you, dog. You got it. I don't want to battle you. And what ends up happening is we do the knockout together. And he killed one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite bands, Mint Condition. Are you kidding me? I'm from DC. Like, they broke in DC. So when he did that song, I was almost like, I'm not touching the song, but you are killing this song right now. So I do agree. And it's just unfortunate. It's the name of the game. It could have been me to go home that day. It could have been Lila to go home. It could have been me to win. It could have been DJ to win. It's just however people are feeling and what their preferences are in that moment.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, because like I said, the three of you really brought it.
Yeah.
You were blessed enough that Gwen stole you.
Yeah.
And you sang Shut Up and Dance With Me as your final song on the show. Is that right?
Yep.
How did you come to that decision of choosing that song?
I didn't.
Did they tell you that that's what you were singing?
Yep. That was not my decision. Not at all. So so it goes back to, what I was saying earlier. In my head, I had a vision for this show. I had a vision for how I was going to be rolled out. And to be honest with you, it was perfect up until that point. I always said, and I said it even in the band rehearsals, I said, if I get to a certain level in this show, where not level meaning like round, I mean level meaning the type of music I'm doing, I said, we can't go back. We can't go back. So we did Maroon 5. So we couldn't do another pop song like that. Not after doing Maxwell's Pretty Wings. It had to be another vocal that was incredible. It could have been, I don't care. It could have been Luther Vandross. It could have been Stevie Wonder. It could have been Donny Hathaway. It could have been any one of those guys. And I said, this is not even close to what I have in mind, and it's not about whether I can pull it off or not. And I do understand, you have to understand, and everybody watching, the show is produced. So they do choose songs based on, the flow of, the other contestant songs. I can't say we have a say in what we have influence on what we choose. I really, really did try to influence what was chosen. I remember the list of songs. I put what keys I sing those songs in next to the ones that I actually wanted. Yep. And I put no notes next to Shut Up and Dance. I put 0 notes, which meant don't choose that one. Don't choose it.
Yep.
Don't choose it. And then they ended up choosing that one. And I even remember one of my producers who was actually really a fan of my ability. And she says, congratulations, you got stolen. She said, what are you singing next? And I said, Shut Up and Dance. She said, huh? She said, that's not you. I said, I know. And I told her that. I said, I think I'm going home. Really? She said, if you knock it out of the park, you won't. I said, I don't know. I said, even if I knock it out of the park, I said, I don't think that I'm going to be able to go to lives off this song. I said, and I had so many ideas. I said, if you want to do Shut Up and Dance, that's kind of like a song I feel like you would do in the lives. You do a song like Shut Up and Dance with a big production and the stage and all that stuff. That seems like fun. Yeah. At least if, America's voting, then they can see that and be like, oh, that was really, really fun. But to go to the lives, it had to be something like a deep cut, another pull at your heartstrings. And I showed that I was really good at that. And they snatched me away from that realm. And I was like, no, guys, come on, work with me here. Work with me here. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I'm complaining. I'm just telling you where my head was at the time. I'm grateful for that performance anyway, because it was really, really fun. And everybody said I did a good job on the song, regardless of the song choice. So I am not complaining, but I'm just expressing how, how my brain was working in that moment.
Yep.
And that wasn't the ideal song choice in any way, shape, or form.
You did.
Or form.
You did knock it out the park. You did.
I tried. I mean, the band was fun. Are you kidding me? Paul Merkovich, the rest of the band, the background singing, it was fun.
Yep.
It was fun. The wardrobe was lit. Put me in the green leather. It was great. I mean, if anything, it was the most fun performance I had.
Yeah.
If I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That was the most fun I had in any round. Because I don't know, and when you're in the playoffs, it just doesn't seem as much pressure because you made it pretty much through to this point. So at that point, I was just like, the stage got bigger and everything. So I was just like in my bag, and I got the microphone. I was like, cat. I was just having fun at that point. I knew what it was. I knew the song choice wasn't ideal, but I knew we were going to have a good time. And the background singers was killing. I turned around and looked at them in the rehearsals. I was like, bro, I want a job, bro. I want a job because y'all are killing. I loved how big they made it.
Yep.
So there's a lot about the performance I really do actually love. So
yeah,
I digress. I just wanted to do it in the lives, not before the lives.
Right. And you brought up an interesting point because I know you're saying I wasn't complaining, and I don't take it as complaining because you are an artist. At the end of the day, as a singer, songwriter, performer, you're an artist. So it's hard when, for lack of a better terms, and maybe I'm wrong for even saying this, when there's a pigeonhole of, hey, you have to go this route, when you as an artist and influence and with your creativity, you're like, oh, I can do this. However, I want to do this, which is understandable. And you brought up a very good point. At the end of the day, it is a produced show. As you mentioned, there are eyes on TV. There are other producers that are telling other producers that are telling other producers that are telling you what to do. That is just the way life works. It's like how it works in any job. If you're a teacher, the superintendent is telling the principal how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, and the teacher has to do it this way. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yes.
But like you mentioned, the best thing you can do is go in with an attitude of, I'm going to do the best I can. And that's what you did. You took the cards that you were dealt, and you were like, I'm going to play the best hand that I can do. And I still think you did a great job, even though despite the fact that it wasn't your number one song choice, or maybe not even your number 8th song choice, you still... No. You still did a fantastic job.
I told myself, I said, I can't change my song. That's fine. I said, I have enough respect for the fact that the show wanted me on, chose me to come on, brought me out, and all of that part being the chosen part. I had enough respect to say, okay, guess what? You guys are producing a show. This is the role I'm playing. Well, guess what? Let's put on a show. I don't have anything to say. There's nothing to bash you about. This was an incredible experience. Let's go out with a bang and put on a great show. I had nothing to say, and any of the producers will tell you, you ain't gonna get no problems out of me. Yeah. If any of the creative choices that were going on were all in my head, I didn't express that to anyone. I didn't make anybody feel like I didn't want to do it. I wasn't no prima donna about it. It was just how I felt. Yep. I was like, oh, and this was literally like my sentiments. I was like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. All right.
Let's
done.
Let's roll.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Let's roll.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really well way to word it.
Yeah. Well, you worded it perfect, especially when you said that's the way the cookie crumbles, because that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. It's just the way the cookie crumbles,
And I think that's because, like I said, even myself, right? Sometimes I have a vision for something, and I think it's going to go one way, and sometimes, because it works on the opposite way, too. There are times where you can sit there and go, I have a vision for this, and it's not right. and then somebody helps and they show you off, and now you're able to show it off. But I understand your point of view of, I already did a pop song. Let's try to do something else. And like I said, you did an excellent job, and I think like all things, you took it on the chin and you went, hey, I'm going to show the world what I can do, and you still rocked it, my friend. So you still did a great job. Yeah.
Then that means mission accomplished.
That's right.
Period.
Yep. I want to ask you one question before we move into some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
If there's a piece of advice that you could give to someone who potentially wanted to do this show, or maybe not even wanted to do this show, wanted to project their music career or start their music career, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone?
I'll do both. I'll do the start the music career and the show.
Okay.
The piece of advice I would tell you about the start your music career, it's kind of two. Work on your craft for real, like really. Work on your craft, and your craft is whether it's you're a singer-songwriter, you play guitar and sing, or you're a singer-songwriter who plays piano and sings, or you're a pop act who dances and sings. Whatever it is, or you're just like Whitney Houston and you sing flat-footed, or like Aretha Franklin or Luther or whoever. Work on your craft and be really, really great, and actually put in the hours to be great. Second thing about starting your career, from the moment you start your career, start looking for a team. You're only as strong as your team is, period. And just make sure that there's people that do great business. Not, and I would say you can trust, but I mean, it just do great business.
Yep.
The show, no matter how many times they say no, keep trying out for the show, because every season is a different vibe.
Yeah.
And if you look at even the promo pictures of the shows, the vibes are different. So where you might not be good for season 24 or 25, you could be perfect for season 26, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone like you. And yes, when they say we're not looking for you, they really do mean that. When I got on the show for the first time, I understood what that meant. Yeah. Because there's no way in the world that I would have fit on season 23. That would have made no sense. If I was on a season 23 or something like that, I would have stood out like a sore thumb. And I don't know if that would have been like a good standout or a bad one. You know, the aesthetic was a little different. Whereas this season, everyone fit together like a puzzle. So go in there, and no matter what they say, keep trying. Second thing is, whatever like happens when the show airs, have thick skin, tough skin, be Teflon, you know, understand people are watching a show and people are going to talk. So, and also understand that the show is going to do a very good job of getting you prepped for that. They really, 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 really do care about you and care about your mindset. So those 4 pieces of advice. There you go.
Beautifully said. I think that's perfect. And I like how you wrapped it up with, you have to be willing to take criticism in a positive way, but you also have to be willing to handle those trolls that are.
Yeah, they're coming for you. Yeah. They came for me, bro.
I believe it. Yeah.
I was like, stop.
You're like, get away from me. Yeah.
Get away from me. Get away from me.
You really are a troll. All right.
Yeah.
You ready? Yes. You ready for some rapid fire questions?
I'm afraid of these. Go ahead.
No, they'll be harmless. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Talk to me about your song called "No Ordinary Love."
You know what? Why you have to do that?
Why do I have?
Why did you have to do? Why did you have to do that? Okay. This isn't 1992, bro. It's called "No Ordinary Love," sir. Yeah, it was just, you know, I just used to think it was called "No Ordinary Love." You know, when I was a little 4-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, I said a lot of words wrong. Yeah. Okay, buddy? You don't have to come for me, all right?
That's all right. I used to say dapple instead of apple. So, yep.
I used to say oatmeal, like oatmeal instead of oatmeal, you know. So it's a few of them.
You know, and I think every single person has done this. You know how when you say the alphabet as a kid, you go LMNP instead of LMNO. We all did it. We all did it. We all did LMNP. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It had a little ring, a little razzle to the dazzle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Talk about your Kickstarter for your album.
Oh, man. I'm so glad you brought that up. So the Kickstarter is, you know, this is the debut album. I recorded half of it before the show, half of it after the show. It's incredible to me, and I think it'd be incredible to a lot of people. But the Kickstarter is to fund the mixing and the mastering of the album, and not only that, the promotion of the album. So I really want this album to do something. I want it to make some real noise. And I don't have a record label, and I want my fans to be my label. I would have creative control. What singles come out, you're going to get quality product, and I'm doing it because it's the number one thing was everybody kept asking me for like, what? Well, you did so many different genres, but which one is you? And I'm like, oh, well, this is what I am, and it's this record. And I'm so excited. It's already over 30% funded, and it's got 20 days left on it. And I just can't believe the support I've been getting, and we're still going for more. But yeah, that's what these funds are going to, is promoting mixing and mastering this product. And guess what? If you pledge, you get perks, man. We've got tons of perks. Nothing too crazy though. I'm not giving you a car.
Oh man, no. But they should, because like I think I saw a post of you saying you get to be a part of an album. You get to be a part of something that is special and that you are really putting your heart into. So
yeah,
I encourage anybody to take a look at it, and I'll let you plug in your socials in a little bit after we finish this up. But no, I agree with that. I think that's a good way to put it in perspective too. You get to be a part of an album. You get to be a part of something that you are producing, essentially, in a for lack of a better terms, even if it's a small portion. So, and
something that we hope to actually make some noise. It's kind of like you could potentially be a part of something that could potentially be like semi-big or semi-popular, and because I'm not just doing a record and then giving it to you. We're actually like pushing the thing.
Yep.
Pushing it, and people, you could have a viral hit on this thing, and you get to tell people, hey, there was a Kickstarter for that, and I put in on that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was a part of the success, which you don't just feel like you are a part of that success, because I couldn't do it without you. Yeah.
That's perfectly said.
Yeah.
What conspiracy theory do you most believe in?
I don't know if this is a conspiracy theory. UFOs?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So like aliens. Yeah.
Yeah. This the universe is too big to be alone.
I completely agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
If you could cast any actor to play a movie about your life, who would you cast?
John Boyega.
Okay.
I already knew that.
Yeah.
John Boyega, play me.
That's it. All right. What is a bucket list vacation spot for you?
I want to go to Kenya.
Kenya.
I really want to go to Kenya.
Okay.
I've always wanted to go there. So yeah, that's it.
Perfect. If you could have any superpower, what would you choose and why?
Teleportation, because I hate traveling.
Me too, and I hate traffic.
Yep.
Yes.
Teleportation.
I would do that in a second. I would be, nope. I want a burrito. Boom. Get my burrito. Boom. Back home on my couch eating my burrito. Yes.
Yep. That's it. Oh God.
That's perfect, man. All right.
The best superpower.
Chat pack. I'm going to ask you a random question, and you're going to answer with the fate of the chat pack, okay?
Okay.
All right. Who is the funniest podcast host ever? No, I'm just kidding. That's not what it said.
Look, wait a minute. I was going to say, is that really a question?
No, it's me saying, it's me wanting to.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say it's you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you think? That was duh.
That was a no-brainer. All right. If you could choose to live in any state other than the one you currently live in, which one would you choose?
Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. Mm-hmm. How come?
I think it's beautiful out there. Glenwood Springs, to be specific. Mm-hmm. Glenwood Springs, Colorado. I went to Aspen to visit a friend of mine who used to work at Best Buy with me. And when I went out there, we looked at the terrain of the place. And I said, my God, this just seems like the type of place I would want to retire to. Like when I would want to live out the rest of my days. It's beautiful. The winters are winters. The springs are beautiful. And summers are not hot. like
I've heard
humid
that.
at all.
I've heard that.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I loved it out there.
That's awesome.
But I'd have to be rich.
Yeah.
I'd have to be rich.
Yeah. No, I've heard that the aesthetics are just marvelous. I've never been, but I've interviewed someone who lived there, and the first thing she said was, "You will love it in the summer. It's beautiful, like you said, the spring." And she said the winters can be harsh, but But I mean but it is beautiful. And she said just everything around there is just, you wake up and you just breathe in the air, and it's just wow. Like
it's wonderful, man.
And that there's a wow factor.
Yeah,
I love that.
Definitely. You're walking around in a desktop background.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it's
That's
beautiful.
true. You're walking around in a screensaver. Yep.
Yeah, in a screensaver. Yeah.
Yep. Where can people find you, follow you, listen to, even donate to the Kickstarter, plug in your socials and everything about Stee? Where can people join Stee on this journey?
It's really, really easy. All you have to do is whatever social media /Stee Music. Stee Music, no spaces, STEE Music. I'll be right there. And the Kickstarter's in the link in every bio on every social media platform. Again, if you guys decide you want to donate, I'd be eternally grateful to you guys. And hopefully it'll pay dividends for you all, because the album hopefully will get nominated for a Grammy.
It will. It will. I believe in you. I believe in you.
I believe in me too. Yes. And I need you to believe in me, because I need somebody to believe in me, because I need somebody to tell me I'm great.
You are.
I'm kidding.
Steve, you are great, my friend.
Thank you.
You are a friend of the show forever now. You're being sworn in. It's like being a cool little Avenger, you know?
Yeah.
So if I call you up in like 6 months and be like, Steve, we gotta smash out another pod.
Let's do it.
You're always no. But most definitely, obviously, whenever you have anything else going on, please let me know. I would love to have you back on. We could talk about that. I really appreciate you doing this, my friend. Like I said, you are forever a friend of the show. I'm eternally grateful for you, because, as you mentioned, when people give something, their time, money, effort, and they help produce a content, a product like you are here, it's something that I hold special to in my heart. So, Steve, I really appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you for having me on and thinking that I was even like a popular enough contestant to be here. So,
of course.
Thank you.
Thanks again for tuning in. That is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Don't forget to follow me on the socials at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Check out our wonderful sponsors, Mad Rabbit, ARave Cards, and Jocko Fuel. And as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah as a dude, and I love you all.